Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Right as Rain, your weekly Seattle Rain FC show here from Circling Seattle Sports. Again, it is just me. Apologies. Bella again having a busy week. Becca also busy week. Both Becca graduated on Monday, had a busy last few set of days, of course. Bella's work in the Club World Cup for the Associated Press. So very proud for our friend Bella, of course, and dealing with some stuff as well. So it's just me today. This came out a little bit later than I wanted to. Um, excuse me. Busy last few days as well. The Mariners were in town. My birthday was in there at some point, which I don't like to acknowledge. So we're going to move on from that. Um, and yesterday was supposed to kind of be a recharge day, and then the Kraken traded for Mason Marchment. So, um, yeah, we'll get this out of the way. Get this going out of the way. We'll get this going here for our Right as Rain show for the, past week of what? Um, that last match from June 14th, I believe it was. No, June 15th, 15th. Yes, stretching into this week here ahead of tomorrow's match against Utah. The last match before we go into this little break here, or the FIFA break. Yes, so look into it. This last match for the Rain guys didn't start out very well. If you were following it, or you were aware of it. Um, yeah, man, this was pretty bad how this started. Just, you know, um, it's always interesting, right, with these and Laura Harvey has talked about this before. Yes, the matches like Orlando, like Kansas City are great, but the matches that can decide things for a team really, can be these ones like, sorry, where was I? Yeah, the matches that they'll play, like obviously to start this road trip, that big win against San Diego. That's that's critical, but the results, when they play uh, Kansas City, uh, Orlando. Sorry, there's where I go. I was thinking about the wrong purple team. I was thinking about Louisville. Those are great, but it's these matches like against Chicago where you can see your season go down, like the loss that they had against Houston, right? So, like I was a bit worried about this match just because yes, Chicago's at the bottom of the table, and pretty like noticeably so, but you know, you've still got to play the match. It's none of these teams are just going to roll over for you, especially not in this league. So this was fun. This match was in Soldier Field. That aspect of it was fun. Going down 2-0 in the first 13 minutes was not fun. Um, certainly, but as Ludmila da Silva had two goals there, a Brazilian striker at 30 years old. Nice 9.1 match rating. Yeah, when you get a brace in the first 13 minutes, it's understandably so. Yeah, first 13 minutes, man. Seattle goes down by two goals. You start to think, oh God, what happened? I was thinking that after the 11th minute goal for them to just go down, just because, we've talked about it. We talked about it with Claudia Dickey last week on the show. Um, that hey, they've been so solid defensively. Um, and then for this to happen, where they allow two goals early, again, for them to allow the goal early, I was like, hey, what is this? Um, so not great. I mean, again, this team certainly has some talent on it. That's every NWSL team does, but certainly was a bit shocking, uh, for it to go this way. We saw the first sort of um, early change from Laura Harvey. Shea Holmes went in the 21st minute for Lou Barnes. Sorry, I don't call her Lauren. And we saw some halftime subs from Laura, which we really don't ever really see. G came on for Coco, Norelia Mondesir, and Sam Meza came on for Ainsley McCammon. Just given the way that that first half had gone, I'm not entirely surprised by that. Um, it's just always sort of interesting to see Laura's sub patterns because she really doesn't do that much in terms of early subs. So seeing that's always a little bit shocking. Uh, so, but yeah, man, I mean, looking at these first two goals, we're gonna focus on this because it is notable, right? I mean, the problem was, especially watching this match, like Seattle had some early possession. They had an early corner. Um, this ball into the box. I think it was from Jordan Bug. Actually, funny enough, yeah, Jordan Bug, not a bad shot, just a little bit off from the far post, shooting from the goalkeeper's left hand side. So, not a bad shot. It's always funny to see Jordan Bug get attempts on goal, which will come up later. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, just we're looking here kind of from deep within Seattle territory, like this Ludmila goal. You've got two players back, two Chicago players on the run. Ludmila gets a great move inside and out, takes a shot, beats Dickey. Um, yeah, that's tough. That's individual good player making a great play. Um, Certainly tough, but yeah, I mean, you've got Phoebe McLaren there. Phoebe's doing her best to stay one-on-one here. Good couple moves with the ball. Great left foot shot. Um, Far post beats Dickey. That one's tough. That one's pretty tough. Um, you know, but yeah, obviously to give up another goal 2 minutes later certainly isn't great. And this one also coming from deep within Chicago territory, where one of the center backs just clears ahead to Ludmila, it's a foot race past Phoebe, waits for Phoebe to dive to try and stop a shot, outweights it, makes a shot. And now you're down 2-0 within the first 13 minutes, which yeah, really not how Seattle wanted this one to go at all. Some great plays from Chicago. Again, like any team in this league can beat you. Um, and that was shown today. So, it's hard to um oh, interesting. Yeah, hard to, just kind of wash anybody under the rug or brush anyone under the rug. Um, there was a potential penalty call in the 33rd minute. Maddie Darlene getting a little bit of a shove right within the box, but they looked at it. The officials went to review and said, nope, that's not good enough. We're not giving you that. Um, and then it was nice. I mean, I kind of think from there on out, Seattle did have the better momentum. I mean, you look at the shots overall in this when we go to the statistics part of this. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Seattle dominated shots, 17 total to 8. Shots on target as well, 6-5. They credit Chicago with the only big chance of this match. Which sure. But Lynn Biondolo, I think what is this? Yeah, 63rd minute. Um, has a ball saved and then hit the crossbar. Edmure Adames nearly gets a volley right after that. I'd say that's a great chance. I don't know. You know, then Seattle has to go kind of coast to coast. We've jumped to the 81st minute now. When you think, oh, we're kind of past it. Um, Maddie Darlene fires a great shot away, great strength on this one from a little bit within the 18-yard box. Save, and that will be a corner. Oh, it should have been a corner at least. Huh. Um, we have to go to the 87th minute before something like happens really. Sam Meza is able to she's trying to send a ball into the box. It's stopped by a Chicago defender, but that diving stop to try and deny that pass in actually essentially becomes a pass straight to Lynn Biondolo, who just about at the top of the 16-yard box fires a shot away, beats the goalkeeper, and Seattle's down by just one in the 87th minute. You say, okay, we've got something here. Nice to see Lynn get on the scoreboard there. Pretty good shot. Um, but you've got to get going, right? If you want to, come out of this and scrape out with just a draw, we've got to keep going here. Um, yeah, funny to see this Sam as an attempt to go in. Biondolo left foot shot, nice little bounce in. You're within one. We have to go to the 90th minute before we get the equalizer here from Jordan Bug, as I alluded to earlier. Um, we've got Jordan Bug here sends a ball in, and it's kind of weird. A few there were multiple Chicago defenders in the box. It was just one Reign player in the vicinity in Jordan Heidema, and wasn't able to it's funny watching this ball because it takes a weird curve. It starts to look like it's going to go into the main part of the box, but it doesn't, and it actually swerves towards the goal. So all of these defenders, and I'm sure the goalkeeper were thinking, "Oh, it's going to go away." No, it curves in. It's somewhat similar to that earlier attempt that Bug had earlier in the match, but this one obviously curves towards goal. That other one just kind of kept on a straight line. So, yeah, Seattle ends up with the split points in this one. Certainly not what they would have wanted. Obviously, you want the result here, but Seattle remains in the sixth, well, Seattle in the sixth spot in the NWSL table at this moment. They're, a win out of jumping back up into fifth place against Portland, funny enough. Um, and anything else, the third place is within reach, really, because San Diego's sitting there at 23. You could argue that Orlando's in place, but you're 7 points behind Orlando, so probably not. Looks like Kansas City might run away with the Shield, but yeah, fascinating. Obviously a match like this really does show resiliency and grit and all that. Um, don't like how you got there in the first place, right? But certainly happy to see um, them fight back. I'll never be against, a team showing some fight to get back into it. Um, but certainly again, uh certainly tough to even have to be in the situation where they need to fight back is my point in all of this. So see if there's anything I need to look at this. Uh, if we scored a goal in the first half, we would have won the game, said Coach Laura Harvey. Yeah, that checks out. You saw who we want to be in the second half. Yeah. Yeah. No, they had some good efforts in that second half there, that's for sure. Just that Ludmila individual brilliance, was the reason for Chicago being on the board first. Um, Yeah, I think Laura describes it best. I think we can be disappointed not to come away with more. We can feel that, but we need to be really proud of our resiliency and our mentality. The players at halftime led that. That's nice to hear the player side of things. So yeah, and it's a tough month on the road. I mean, you're going to be on the road every week of this month. Um, it's not easy. Um, so not bad at all. They still got to finish out the road trip tomorrow, but pretty solid start to get four of the six possible so far. Looking to make it, three more tomorrow. So yeah, we go to that. I think now we will go over to our new guest of the week. We're trying to make this a weekly thing. If you watch some of the like big time TV, sports shows, TV, YouTube, whatever, they have like for these teams, right? They have a weekly guest trying to do that here with the Rain. And thanks to Rain PR for being so gracious with doing this, because it certainly hasn't always been the easiest and most ideal setup. Um, with someone this week, we had Claudia last week. This week, someone who is a Seattle native, went to Roosevelt High School. I'm an O'Day guy, so I have my gripes about Roosevelt. But always cool to see someone from the Metro League succeed. Um, Sally Menti, who went to Santa Clara High School, no, Santa Clara College, won a national championship, has trained with the Rain the last few years or so. I think played at Crossfire, joined the show the other day after training. So I will now stop talking and you can go enjoy that right about now. I feel bad. I just want to mention the Roosevelt thing. Obviously, to continue this Right as Rain episode, I'm joined by Sally Menti, who has certainly continued to have a fascinating career in the Pacific Northwest, right? I mean, I think Seattle Academy, you were at Seattle Academy at one point through Roosevelt High School, and now you're here with the Rain. I guess before I get to ask actual questions, how are you juggling everything, or is it all kind of come in and flow for you? Just, you've obviously, played at the collegiate level, and the collegiate level nowadays feels so professional, right? Has it been a lot for you to handle? Just, you know, playing with the club, having your contract that you're currently on. Um, Obviously the San Diego match was a big deal. But I don't know. How have you handled everything over the last few months, Sally?
Yeah, I knew I coming in March, beginning of March, because I was injured coming out of college. I knew that I had a long way to go. Um, but the first couple weeks, like I knew I'd put my head down and work. Like I knew that I was going to be not as sharp, not as fit. But my teammates and coaches here have like from day one have been super supportive and encouraging in my progress. And so it honestly wasn't as hard juggling everything in the very beginning, also because I'm home. It makes I love being home, so it makes everything a little easier mentally. If things aren't going well at soccer, I can just go home and recharge. So yeah, I think being home is the biggest factor in that.
And that is a perfect segue to the home thing. I mean, growing up in the area, where does specifically, because it says Seattle, but obviously there are the suburbs. Is there a specific area that you want to mention, or is it because I grew up in Magnolia,
Mhm.
so I right up the hill from Interbay, played a lot of games at Interbay. You go to Roosevelt. I mean, what was it like playing in this area? Because obviously right now, the Club World Cup is happening over at Lumen. you know, uh, there's just so much happening with soccer with the USLW league, right? There's like this area has exploded, it feels like, in terms of that. What was growing up playing around here like for you? And did you go to any of the rain matches at Memorial when you were, coming up?
Yeah, it is crazy how much soccer is like taking a turn since I was a kid, and like having these leagues to play in the summertime is so cool. Like my sister plays on Salmon Bay, so like she's has had so much fun with that, and like I go to those matches and I'm like, this is unreal. Like the support and the fans that they get, like this is amazing. Like I wish I had this, in
Mhm.
college in the summer, but yeah, I mean, growing up playing it here, like I used to have like stake up tournaments at Starfire, like where we train every day. So it's so funny. It's so cool being back here and then being a pro. Like I've always wanted to be a pro, but like to do it on like in this environment and where I literally had 10 stake up like finals, like it's really funny. But yeah, I grew up kind of all over. I live like in Laurelhurst area now, so by Roosevelt. Um, but yeah, and of course, I went to rain games. Growing up, like who wouldn't? I wanted to be a pro, so of course I would watch. And if I couldn't make it out, I'd stream it. But like I idolized that era of like Megan Rapinoe, still Jess. It's awesome. I get to play with her, and I've been watching her forever. Um, but yeah, I think Seattle's done an amazing job with women's sports and sports in general. Yeah, like over the last couple of years. Like it's grown so much and it's really cool to see.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's got to be really cool to be a part of that now, having grown up, been around it, like you mentioned, like things are really blown up here. Excuse me, women's sports wise, like I've got PWHL Seattle stuff to do, cool to see women's hockey in the area. Obviously the Storm have been successful seemingly since inception, right? Yeah, and I was on those seemingly decaying wooden benches at Memorial, right, where it felt like those might fall on you.
I know. I know.
Um, but I do want to ask you and kind of jump over to that professional side of things. Um, having, grown up watching Lou and Jess, have you mentioned that like to them, or is it kind of like maybe don't say that to them to make them feel older, considering that they've been there since day one?
They're so awesome about that. And like I don't think I've like had like a full-on conversation about that with them, but when I was little and growing up here, I think Lou coached me like in beast mode soccer. Like
Wow.
I know, and actually brought that up to her the other day. Like we had a laugh about it because like small world, like so funny. And it's
That
yeah,
is
she coached me.
crazy.
Yeah, when I was like in middle school or high school. Like she didn't know who I was, obviously, like, but it was so funny. Like we had a good laugh about it. But yeah, they're amazing people and players. Yeah.
I'll continue that. We everyone, needs to be reminded because it feels like with some of the newfound attention that's coming around you lately, right? It's you've been around the club for a little bit, training and such. Obviously, you had your impressive career at Santa Clara. Obviously tough with the ACL tear, of course. But yeah, what has it been like? I mean, you've obviously been somewhat familiar with the club. I joked with you, I think, on the post-game press conference that you had some Laura-isms already with blacking out and the fist bump after the goal. But I mean, you talk about home and feeling like home. I'm sure the club has somewhat felt like home considering you've been around them. Would you agree with that? And what has it just been like to finally have a contract with the club and actually, being because I mean, you were a non-roster invitation during the preseason, but just to have a contract, obviously, I'm sure it means a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. It it felt like such a smoother transition from college to here, just having been in the rotation of like being able to train with them the last couple summers, like super familiar with the coaching staff, Laura, and I mean most of the team. Like I knew most of the team coming in already too, which was huge for me just to kind of like already have those walls like broken down and being comfortable with them like is important for me and important for me to like play well too, knowing the my teammates and coach as well. So yeah, it was smoother than I had anticipated, but everyone was amazing and welcoming, like I said before. So
Play on to the Laura-isms a little bit. I know during the post-match after the San Diego match, she mentioned that she told you, and I think she said she tells a bunch of the like players on shorter term contracts this, but she was like, it's up for you to change the plan, right? I mean, how much did you take that to heart? Because I mean, obviously you've worked hard through the entirety of your career. You've achieved a lot. I mean, it's always fun to go and look at the accolades list of a player, right? Um, you and I talked before we started about, some of the USA stuff, and obviously this club, I think, had more than anyone in the league go out to international duty, which is I will try to not get Laura fined by mentioning that because she gets very upset, which is understandable. Um, but yeah, I mean, how do you, I hate to put you under your own microscope here, but how do you feel like you've sort of thrown maybe a wrench into the plans of, hey, this is a short-term deal. You're here through June on this contract for the time being. Like, how have you felt that you've potentially impacted that? Because I remember last week before training for Chicago, who do I see in essentially the starting group? But I noticed the boots is what helped.
yeah.
But but yeah, I don't know. How do you feel like you've helped maybe change the plan? How would you reflect on your time with the club so far this year as, you're I'm sure looking for an extension here.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the best case scenario that Laura could say to me. Like I do well when I know that my future is up to me. Like I know I'm in control of the situation. So, I mean, I didn't take any days for granted out on the field. Like I try to learn from every single person on the field, every single player, every single coach, try to make myself better every single day. And um, I like when my back's up against the wall. Like I think that I want to prove to myself and prove to everyone that I'm better than I'm I'm good. Like I didn't no one really knew how what my skill level was coming into. So like I really wanted to show up every single day, improve myself every single day. So I I'm really glad Laura said that to me on like the first day because it got my head very like screwed on straight. I'm like, yep, like I'm here to play. Like I love this is like my passion. Like of course I'll do anything I can to get her to change her mind.
So it was nice to maybe have that fire lit under you, so to say.
Yeah.
That that is totally fair. And then I guess to round you out and ask maybe less direct or technical questions, so to say. I didn't really ask anything technical, but um, what's been the most enjoyable part about playing professionally? I mean, obviously a lot is happening. Obviously we talk about soccer in the area. I saw the Menti name on that Salmon Bay roster and I was like, that looks familiar, but I didn't want to just lump. But it's not a very common last name.
No.
Um, yeah, what has been the most enjoyable aspect about being a pro? Is it, being obviously this Reign roster has a great mix of veteran and younger players. It's obviously, as you mentioned, a very exciting time in women's sports generally, but obviously in this area as well. I mean, I don't know, to Sally, what is the most enjoyable part about being a professional right now?
Yeah. I mean, I can't get enough of soccer. I feel like I have bad days when I don't play soccer. Like it is my escape from a lot of things. I laugh so much out there and like I love my teammates so much and it's just kind of like a safety net for me. So I think just being able to play it every day and such at such a high level has been my favorite part. I mean, everyone takes it so seriously, obviously, and wants to push every single one everyone on the field. But yeah, just being able to play in a high intensity environment every single day has just been amazing. And then obviously, like, I can't speak for every club or every professional out there, but I really think that this Reign group is different. I think we all respect each other so much. We all have such a good, like, home feeling to it. Like, I could go up to anyone, one of my teammates, and have an hour long conversation, like it really does feel more home to me. It already is home, but it's coming to Starfire. It's becoming another home. So I think that that also has been one of my favorite parts of being a pro is like getting another family. So it's pretty awesome.
I lied. I'll wrap you up on this one that's a little less serious. Um, Perfect. Okay, yes. Um, you mentioned laughing a bit on the field. If I have to put you on the spot, who is the funniest teammate that you've got? We've seen G get mic'd up, and that's pretty enjoyable. But who would be on the top of that list?
I would say G too. G knows
Okay,
how to make everyone laugh. And when I'm trying to be focused, I like can't be next to G. Like I will get caught out of line because she's just a goofball.
perfect. Thank you, Sally.
Yeah. No, thank
Yeah, so cool to talk with Sally there. I mean, kind of talked about it at the end, but really would be surprised if the Rain don't, give her an extension. I know I've talked with Bella, and I think we might have talked about it before, but certainly have thought that, the potential is there to extend her and then put her on loan, get some more minutes. But you have to wonder with the way she's played. She played 90 minutes in the Chicago match. Wonder if she's earned the right to stay with the team, right? And as Laura Harvey said, change some plans, right? Obviously, the Rain will have to make some decisions. Excuse me, have to make some decisions to clear up roster spots. Have to imagine Lily Woodham gets sent away on a permanent loan. um, have to imagine that. Have to imagine that. We see. I don't know. The Sofia Huerta's got to come back. That'll be in August. But yeah, kind of intrigued now to see where what other roster moves they'll have to decide on because there'll have to be a few. I mean, obviously, you've got a third goalkeeper right now with Cassie Miller, well, technically a fourth goalkeeper if we're counting Cassie, but three active goalkeepers on the roster. So I don't know. Well, that'll be something for us to talk about with Bella when Bella gets back. But until then, we have some international call-ups because this upcoming July month is pretty barren outside of a friendly towards the end of it. But so there's this June July international window, um, that stretches uh doesn't really start till about August. We don't get back to real NWSL play, so um good amount of call-ups for the Rain, whether it is, the senior national team or the U23s that we know of. So we'll get into the senior national team call-ups first. Um, I oh, oh, that's right. Sorry, I had to check on something. Yeah, four Rain players will head out to the U.S. Women's National Team, 25 player senior roster for the upcoming international window. Two, somewhat it's one typically expected, with Lynn being Dolo, but nice to see. I was gonna say, to be expected two of them. with Claudia, and I guess that's just because I believe that. And yeah, Claudia, gets another call up here. And then two names that I'm very happy to see in Jordan Bug, which makes sense, Jordan Bug supremacy around here, and Sam Meza. So that's really cool. The U.S. Will take on the Republic of Ireland twice on June 26th and 29th. Oh, wow. So they'll have this match and then next. Okay. Um, and then Canada once on the 2nd of July. Um, doesn't feature much of the US's European-based players. So really cool to see, um, some of these other players getting shouts. That's really remarkable. Nice to see that for sure. And get to, see Sam and Jordan step onto the senior stage for the first time. That's really cool. Obviously, great for Lynn. She's got the 80 caps and 24 goals with the US, one of six players on that roster to have played in a world championship at the senior level. Claudia, again, continues the great year that she has had, um, getting called up once again after earning her first game call up during that May-June international window, if you'll remember that. Still looking for her first cap, though, alongside five other players on that roster. So, and then with Bug and Meza, two parts of the future for this Reign club. Their first senior national team call-ups, both extensive experience at the youth national team level. And they're two of four players called up for the first time ever uh, uh, with the senior team. Yes. So that is very cool. That Republic of Ireland friendly first one on June 26th is in Colorado. The 29th one is in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then the July 2nd match against Canada is in Washington, D.C. The first one against Ireland on the 26th will be on True TV and Max, Universo and Peacock in Spanish. On the 29th on against the Republic of Ireland, TNT, True TV, and Max, again on Universo and Peacock in Spanish, and then on July 2nd against Canada, TNT, True TV, and Max and Universo and Peacock in Spanish. Thing with Canada, speaking of Canada, Jordan Heidema, of course, called um into uh Team Canada's camp for this June July international window. Canada will play one match in Toronto against Costa Rica, and then of course the one match in DC against the US. Um, you know, Jordan's had a lot of travel. I mean, to do the stuff with Canada, working hard to recover, stay sharp, contribute at the club level, and then do so in the international stage as well. Obviously, a mainstay in Canada's attack over the years. Appeared in three matches for the national team already this year, recording two goals and assists. Since making her senior national team debut back in 2017, she's amassed 89 caps, 39 starts, 23 goals, and seven assists. Um, mm, 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 mm. That one against Costa Rica is on the 27th. Uh, on the 27th at BMO Field in Toronto. I'm not seeing any viewing options for that, unfortunately. So that is tough. And then we round it out with maybe not maybe, the most important call ups for the senior national team would be Jess Fishlock and Ankaraj James Turner has as they join the Wales women's national team ahead of the UEFA European Women's Championship as part of head coach Ryan Wilkinson's 23 player roster. Um, so yeah, this is going to be pretty big as we get towards that. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, it's been a long qualification journey for Wales, after they narrowly failed to qualify for the 2023 Women's World Cup. Um, so that'll be really big. Uh, uh, uh. They'll have a tough tournament in Group D as they battle England, France, and the Netherlands. Oh my God. Yeah, it's brutal. Jesus. Obviously it's a big deal though for them to be involved in the first ever Euros for Wales. This is a big deal. This is historic. Um, and it's really cool to see like this is largely what the season has been leading up to for Jess. Um, so that's really cool. Um, with 162 caps and 47 goals. Obviously, Jess leads Wales. In her qualifying campaign to get to this position, she notched a team high 6 goals. So obviously, she was very determined to make this happen. Most recently appearing for Wales when they took on Italy in a tough 4-1 loss, but she did net the only goal for the for Wales in that one. James Turner, as a Centurion for the team, recently appointed captain of the squad. She was one of the 4 players to wear the armband throughout the course of the qualifying campaign for the Euros here before taking on the armband full time. She most recently appeared against Italy, playing 90 minutes alongside Jess with that. The two will compete as a part of a selection of Welsh midfielders that bring over 430 caps collectively. So here's what we've got for the schedule for that. Thankfully, we do have viewing options for this. July 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific, Wales will take on the Netherlands in Switzerland. That will be on Disney Plus and Fox Sports. July 9th at noon Pacific time, France and Wales will battle in Switzerland. Fox Sports, Disney Plus. And then July 13th, noon Pacific, Wales will take on England at in Switzerland. Sorry, Fox Sports, Disney Plus. So really big deal, of course, for Jess and for Wales there. Um, yeah, that's Euros, first time ever for them. It's a very big deal, and that's what you'll have if you follow the rain. You'll know how important that's been. As the season's gone along and coming into the season as well. So that, and then I believe this, yeah, we'll finish it up with the US U23 roster call-ups, training camp from June 23rd to July 2nd in Colorado. I believe it's 5 Reign players make this roster here. Maddie Prohaska, the current, excuse me, second goalkeeper for the Reign that they took in the draft this past. Um, yeah, oh wait, no, not the draft. We don't do the draft anymore around here. That's right. I believe one of the non-roster invitees um, from this past year, if I this past camp, if I'm correct. Yep. Yeah, no more drafts, right? I knew the draft was done. Non-roster invitee for the preseason. Yes, I was correct. Okay. Thank God. That would have been really bad. So cool to see her get that call up. Emily Mason, defender Emily Mason makes it, not surprising. She's shown well there. Sally Menti, so shout out to Sally for that. Emery Adamas, Maddie Darlene, not surprising at all. So yeah, 5 Reign call-ups in total there. Very cool to see that. They'll train alongside the senior national team for Emma Hayes to observe over in Colorado when they're in Colorado there. So that'll be really cool to have more international players. So you've got what, about 12 players for the Reign out on international duty, 4 US, 5 U23 US, Jordan for Canada, and then 2 for Wales. Yep. So that is very cool. So yeah, man. I mean, that leads us into this match against Utah tomorrow. America First Field in Sandy, Utah, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So earlier afternoon game for Seattle. They'll play their final NWSL match ahead of the international break on the road. Again, 3-match road trip in the month of June here. Uh, you know, so 2 different results for the clubs coming into this one. Neither of them picking up a win in their last match. Obviously, that 2-2 draw against Chicago, while Utah lost 3-0 to Gotham in the last time that they were out. This will be on Fox 13 Plus locally, as well as Paramount Plus or NWSL Plus. Yeah, Seattle 5th in the table at 18 points. Utah 1-9-2 record on the season, 1 win, 9 losses, 2 draws. 5 points for them at 14th place in the league. They are bottom of the table right now. Chicago overtook them with that point that they got against Seattle. So, um, mm, 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 mm. Oh yeah, the last time they played Utah was really ugly. That's right. Towards the end of the 2023 24 season at America First Field, conceded 3 first half goals and ended up playing the majority of the match with just 10 players. Not great. Otherwise, it wasn't too bad. The other 2 meetings that they had, 2024, 1-1 draw in the regular season, and then a 2-1 win in the Summer Cup for the Reign. It'll be the 13th time 13th meeting all time between the two clubs, Seattle and Utah. The Reign hold the vast edge in the all-time series at 7 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws, outscoring Utah 15-11. So, um, yeah, man, Utah comes into this one having lost three straight. Obviously they lost to the Gotham match as I mentioned. So, uh, Gotham loss marked the sixth time this season they failed to score and the eighth time conceding multiple goals in the match. They've just been one of the more brutal teams in the league this year. But again, as I mentioned with the Chicago match, anybody can surprise you on any day. So, um, mm, 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 see here. Yeah, this last NWSL match before they have I believe it's the Urawa. I can double check that so I don't get that wrong. The Urawa friendly in on July 20th. Yes, Urawa Red Diamonds, which is really cool because Urawa's men's side is here in Seattle for the FIFA World Cup, which is awesome. They had a great showing in the match that they played just a few days ago, actually. Their fans were great. For Utah, you'll want to look out. Ali Sentnor's been big. I mean, tough season for Utah, but Ali Sentnor's been great. Fifth in shots and shots on target across the league, all 12 matches. 1 goal and 1 assist, but she's dangerous, that's for sure. Keito Fava, defenders will be big for them. I mean, she's played every minute for them this season. 1 assist on the season, 9 tackles, but she'll be a rock. She'll be someone that Seattle's attack will have to get around. So yeah, that will wrap up this week's episode of excuse me, I'm going to close tabs here from the show. This week's episode as from Right as Rain. Uh, Hopefully we get Bella back next week. Bella or Becca. Honestly, obviously, would like to get our folks back. It's the whole reason we have these shows is to get these different minds to talk about these teams. So I know people don't like seeing me too much. So yeah, till we see you next time. Hopefully next Wednesday, get it back into gear. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Do whatever you can to make today a great day.